Hey guys,
Hey.
happy Monday evening. It's Monday.
Feels like a Tuesday.
Oh, it has certainly felt like a Monday to me. Today's day 7. Today's day
Sete.
7, siete, in quarantine. So far, so good. Nobody's died or anything like that.
Oh, want to kill each
Or
other.
wanted to kill each other.
I wanted to kill a bull.
Yes, we'll get to that in a minute. As for us, I think we're all on the mend. I think we're all feeling better.
I'm doing really good.
Yes.
Like, no more sore throat.
No more sore throat. I woke up without a voice this morning, but I think it was just that little scratchy I had last night. And as the day's gone, it's come back. And I think for all of us, since we've all had something, either I had the flu and they had some kind of funk, that it's taking us some time. Like, we're having to work in spurts. Like, you get up and you do a big task, and then you got to sit down and rest a few minutes. And then it's just kind of been that kind of week so far. But I think we're all getting better.
Yes.
You think so? Okay.
I think I picked mine up from the hospital.
Oh yeah. So. I mean, he wore a mask and everything, but with people coming in and out, and they said they were passing around Tamiflu like candy up on our floor because so many of us had the flu that, I don't know if you get the flu, but you got something, and there was just so much going on in the hospital. All right, work task. Okay. I'm gonna let you start that one because you had the busy morning.
Work task. I got up this morning, went to let the dogs out, and I noticed all the cows were in the corner, but one of them looked funny. Well, right about that time, I realized he was outside the fence. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding again. So right about the time as I started getting ready, a car pulled up, and the lady was driving by. She said, one of your cows is outside. And I said, yeah, I just saw that. I said, thank you. I said, I'm getting dressed to go and get them. So sure enough, I went to get the feed bucket. As I was getting the feed bucket, the other 3 started running towards me. And of course, he wanted some. So he started running from the fence, outside the fence. So we just kind of poured some feed down and we got him inside. So Maddie and I started our morning off real early, about, 8 o'clock, I guess, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
It was 7:30. It was way too early for me.
So there we are fixing up the fence line. And I think what it was is about a week or 2 ago, the city that they hired these guys to come out to clean the right-of-way. And when they were cleaning the right-of-way, knocking the trees down, shrubbery, the first time there's a telephone pole on the corner of our property, they cut the fence line, and I think they kind of messed up the fence, and that's how he got out. So
yeah. And
there was another section that same thing. So
apparently they cut indiscriminately.
Yes. So we spent the morning fixing the fence, got that fixed, and got him inside. But it wasn't as bad as the first time, but we got it.
Yeah. Because the first time he got to chase cow while I was in the hospital.
Yes.
So that was a story for another day.
Yes.
So I got to spend some time cleaning out part of the shed because I was looking for my diploma and stuff. I did find it.
Yes. Yay.
I'm so excited. It was nowhere near the rest of my work stuff, which makes perfect sense. So I'm just happy I found it. I found some other of my office supplies, so I'm able to continue putting my office together. And then maybe one day, probably by the time all this virus mess is over, my office will be put together and I'll be able to go back to the office. So, but I was able to get that done. And then I got to see some clients this afternoon. And again, I always find that so cathartic because I'm able to just put everything else aside in our life and just be present in the moment with them. So I really enjoyed that. And so didn't get all my notes done today, but if you're a counselor, you know how that goes sometimes. Got to jump to the next task. So I think we all worked hard today. It was a hard work day. Yes. We were trying to think of a fun task that we did today. And we finally came up with, we ate dinner together. Oscar made this amazing taco soup, which was just amazing. Yes. And so we got to watch the 90 Day Fiance Pillow
Pillow
Talk.
Talk.
We were too tired yesterday to watch it, so we watched it today, and it was just, it always entertains, if nothing
Yeah,
else. So,
it was funny.
because it's like they're watching the same episode that we already watched, but it's got the funny pieces to it. So, and like other people commenting on it. And sometimes for me, it's justification, because I find myself yelling at the TV, like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous, or whatever. And then they wind up saying the same thing. I'm like, see, it's not just me. Other people think that way. That's right. Anyway, so that was kind of our fun. It was just a really busy, it was a Monday. Monday.
It was a long day.
It was a long day. So I'm hoping that I get in bed a whole lot sooner than yesterday, because our video last night wound up taking 4 takes.
4 takes.
Because my phone kept turning off in the middle of them, or got an Amber Alert and just craziness. So we wound up finishing about 12:30 this morning. And then by the time we did all of the preliminary, showers and getting ready for bed and all that stuff, it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I didn't go to sleep till about 3. He started snoring approximately 1:30.
My turn.
So he slept good, at least for the first couple hours. I can vouch for that. But then with us all being back up at 7, I'm just like so tired. Anyway, so hopefully more fun tasks tomorrow, at least.
I think it might be a light day.
Yes, sounds like a good plan. Tips for today is be flexible. So one of the quotes that, if you've been around me very much at all, you talk about, one of my favorite quotes is, "Blessed are the flexible." And if you're familiar with the Beatitudes, blessed is the man who, and it's the sermon that Jesus gave. And it talks about, and blessed are the flexibles, not on there, by the way. This is a Gail-ism. This is not biblical. We'll hit one of the Beatitudes here in a second. But being flexible during such a time of crisis is kind of super important. And honestly, being flexible in any season of your life is really important, because you can have plans for a day, and something tip the apple cart, something change things, and all of a sudden those plans don't work out, or something breaks, or somebody cancels or whatever. If you're rigid and life has to function, if you're rigid, this quarantine season is going to be really hard for you, because if you have children or dogs or cows or spouses or children. Did I mention children?
Twice.
I feel like I forgot that one. It's not going to be predictable, like seriously. So being flexible means that you just roll with the punches. And I think that's been probably one of the biggest secrets to Oscar and I's life. We've taken a lot of punches in 17 years. And I think we both had taken some punches, quite a few punches, before we even met each other. So we both have some accumulative years of blow taking, some just good punches. But I think we both are pretty flexible and try to be malleable and roll with the punches. So, and the key to that's being flexible, not being, and I've had moments where I was rigid and I was upset because something changed, or I had things lined out and it didn't get organized or whatever. And I think we both had those moments in life where we've gotten kind of stoic. And so we really try, even if we catch ourselves being super rigid, to remind each other, hey, that's not helpful for anybody. Let's think about this again. So yeah, it's a very simple tip today. Like I said, we're both kind of tired and ready to turn in. But I think that's a big one. And if you could master being flexible, I think during this season of uncertainty, season of change, season of readapting. I saw a post earlier today, and it said, all questions about what home wives or housewives actually do have been halted, because now they know. If you've never been a stay-at-home mom, you're gonna get a little taste of it, and it's work. We don't just sit at home. I remember all those years ago when the kids were at home, and I was a stay-at-home wife, and I stay-at-home mom, and I did go to school when the kids were in school, but then I was home most of the time. And it's a lot of work. It's not like sitting on the couch eating bonbons all day, as he used to sometimes joke that I was doing. Which, if you guys come home from work, don't do that. I'd be like, "What'd you do today?" Really? Well, I kept your children from killing each other. There's the start. Yeah. So, but just being flexible and what you'll teach your children, if you do have kids in your house, is what you'll teach them is anything can be overcome. Anything can be navigated. Anything can be handled if you handle it with a happy heart, if you're flexible. So the scripture today, you want to read that one? Excuse me. Do you want to read that one?
Oh, I thought you said you're okay. Matthew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Yeah. And next to pure in heart, I kind of have a little star and it says childlike.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that attracted me to Oscar, I mean, other than his ravishing good looks, and a cute, adorable children, was...
I think I just came with the children.
He came with the kids, really. I mean, that's the truth. So, but he had a childlike heart. And he had a good time. He didn't take himself too seriously. One of our first dates, I have to tell you this about his childlike heart, and I have a million of these stories, but I'm going to share one. So we were dating, and
no,
I am. So basically, long story short, we were dating. He came to pick me up, and we went over to the neighbor's house to talk on their little wiener dog. His name was Oscar, and he was just yep at him. And the owners were like, "Oh, we're so sorry, we can't get him to stop." Oscar said, "Do you want me to make him stop?" And he's like, "Oh, please, we just can't control this dog." And he goes, "I'll fix it." And before I knew what happened, this Oscar is on his knees next to the other Oscar, the dog, and he bites the dog on the neck, like flat out. He bit the dog, and the dog goes, "Yep," and they just stopped. And Oscar held him by the neck for a second. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dating a man who just bit a dog. Like, okay. But I'm going to tell you what, it worked. I was like, have you tried biting a kid? Because boy, that's an effective tool. By the way, don't bite your children. It doesn't work that way. Apparently it's a dog thing. But what I learned about that in that moment, many guys would have, even if they thought, because he worked with dogs in the military, so he understood dog behavior and submission and all of that stuff. So, but he was himself in that moment. And I love that he didn't take himself so seriously that he was too shy or too embarrassed to get on all fours and bite a dog in front of his girlfriend. So I thought that was great. And so that's one of 4 million stories that I have about him and his childlike heart. And I also think that along with being flexible, which again, most kids are flexible because they're like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. So it's part of that childlike heart, but I think that's what's made our life so fun. And I think why we raised fun kids, because you know what? All right, well, if we're all sleeping on the floor for some reason, we'll do it. If things don't work out, we'll find another way. There's always another option. And so if we could just be pure in heart, don't let the world bog you down. Don't let other people's bull bog you down. Don't let a crazy bull in the front yard bog you down.
He just threw my back out.
Well, Oscar had to learn that you can't drag a bull by a rope.
Well, you could choke him.
But you can't drag him. So he's considering getting a piercing for the cow pretty soon. So, but realistically, maybe this is something you can teach your kids, or maybe something your kids can teach you. How to have a childlike heart. We did the 4 temperaments thing. We did it at church years ago, and we've done it in numerous different settings. And Oscar is always he's definitely, he can be more serious because he's more analytical. And he's always a realist when it comes to facts and details, but he rolls towards that, which is, I can't remember the animal.
Well, it depends
on which one. But he leans
one.
towards the Labrador, which is loyal and kind and sweet and just wants to make people happy. And if you are familiar with if you're familiar with personalities at all, I'm an otter. I like to party. I like to have fun. And he is so great about rolling with that. And just I'll use any excuse to blow up some balloons and make a cake, for stupid stuff. Because... and I know you guys have seen online, we go to a lot of dances and proms. Prom's been postponed this year, but we will get to do something hopefully later in the year. And because I like to just I don't know, dress up and have fun. What about you?
Yeah, no, I like to, I like to go out as well. But I know for you, you really enjoy doing stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
I
I like to just dress up, and
yes,
even if it's just dress. I mean, years ago when we were younger,
yes,
I would,
yes.
dress up in my, super sexy dress and be like, okay, let's go to Logan's. And who cares what anybody else thinks? Who cares if you're like, wow, sister, you are overdressed for Logan's? But that's okay because we counterbalanced it by showing up at the Flame in Springfield in shorts
Oh,
and flip flops.
shorts
So
and flip
see, I
flops,
mean,
and my
pendulum
Hawaiian
goes
shorts,
both ways.
Hawaiian shirts. Yeah.
But that also is going to make, if you can find a way to have fun and have a childlike heart, really the scripture says they shall see God. And this is a Gailism here. I think that means not only that we will see the face of God, but I think that also means that we'll see God in everything. When I see a beautiful sunset, I see God. Like I see the painter's hand. When I see my children, I see God and the miracles that he's done in my life and their lives. When I look at our marriage, I see God in the restoration in both of our lives that he did, because we had both been very broken and hurt before we met each other, but God. And so we didn't allow that to turn us into grumpy old people who don't trust anybody.
I also see a sense of humor sometimes,
Yeah. This being like a child. Although not every child has a sense of humor, so.
No, I mean, just our personalities are sometimes so opposite.
Yeah.
But just because we're opposite, we fit so well. Kind of like yesterday you said, what I lack, you make up, and what you lack, I make up. And by putting us together, we're
God knew
whole.
what he was doing.
We're whole,
Yeah.
And kind of like in that movie, I can't remember. It was with Ashton Kutcher, whatever, and Bernie Mac. When he's talking, he says, the whole time going through life, you always thought you were whole until you meet the person and you realize you were never whole. Mm-hmm. But once you find that person,
you can't be whole
without them, And, that's how I feel about you. Mm-hmm. And I'll be quiet.
So, legitly, before we got too derailed over here, having a pure heart, and just because maybe you are a grumpy Nancy, or as Maddie, we were watching, and this lady goes, this lady was being really grumpy, and Maddie goes, she's like a Karen. And I was like, exactly, yes. Then we had to educate Oscar on what swipe to the left and swipe to the right meant. He goes, I don't know what that means.
I didn't know what that meant.
So that was fun. But just having, just even if you are at a place where you just feel really grumpy or life has been hard on you and you've lived a hard life, do not take these smiling faces as a confusion that life has been perfect for us. Life has been everything but we've learned to have fun in the moment. And I mean, even before the video today, I had some stuff that I was having to deal with business-wise, and it was really tough. And I was really having to process my emotions. But that doesn't mean it has to ruin my day. It doesn't mean that it has to affect my heart. We immediately, if we're frustrated, we just say, God, I forgive him and I give him to you. I release it and just ask God to give me wisdom and let it go. So it doesn't matter how bad life has been to you this far. You can choose today, God, give me a childlike heart. Give me a pure heart. Again, that quote that we learned from Pastor Gary, that we pray a lot, purify my heart, my mind, and my motives. And oftentimes that means, I know yesterday we talked about being honest with ourselves. So maybe that first step for you is being honest with, maybe you are a Krabby Patty. Or maybe you were just raised that men are serious. Well, they're not supposed to show emotion. Really? Because this guy's emotional and he's amazing. I have women all the time ask for him. literally, like I'm not kidding. He got to where I couldn't let him go anywhere by himself and Kate because Maddie would have to follow him and ask women to stop skulking at him or asking him out or slipping him phone numbers. I mean, so, and he's got emotions, so you can have emotions too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, if he was crying in the corner, sucking his thumb all day long, that would be different. So, not too much.
That was a nervous breakdown.
But just having a pure heart. And it's never too late to have a pure heart. You can always ask God to purify your heart, mend those wounds, and help you to begin to find your joy. We like to watch a lot of comedies. I personally refuse, for the most part. Every once in a while I'll make an exception, but I don't watch sad movies because I feel like life is sad enough. I don't need to sit for 2 hours and have something make me cry. He wanted me to watch A Dog's Purpose yesterday. Oh no.
That made me cry.
No. I mean, it makes me want to cry just thinking about the movie because I miss my fur babies that are with Jesus now, and I just, nope. And I think it's okay because I know my heart, and I know that I got to guard it. I mean, it really is kind of guarding your heart to know what you can and can't expose yourself to. And again, if it's never too late. So if you expose yourself to too much, it's never too late to ask God to purify that. So any last thoughts on that?
No.
Nope.
Pretty much touched.
Okay. Tomorrow, I plan to see clients in the morning and finish my notes for,
Shame.
Yes. So they'll all be in tomorrow. I'll be under my 72 hours. So, those professionals don't yell at me. And then we're just going to get some housework done. I do have to mention one other thing because I was looking at the shavings over here. I want you to know that Oscar performed electrical work today. He spliced together. He spliced together a hose,
an
extension cord that got cut.
That I accidentally sawed in half. So.
Make sure that your hose is not under your saw. Just saying.
But it wasn't plugged in.
The cord wasn't plugged in. So he spliced it today, and I'm happy to announce that he spliced it, put it back together, taped it, sealed it, all that stuff, and it works. So see. Does that mean I have to learn how to cook something?
Yes.
Oh, maybe I should have shared that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll give you an update on that later. So we're going to get some housework done tomorrow, maybe.
While you see your clients, I'll do some housework.
That sounds like a plan. We are going to try to play with the cows. We were talking earlier today about how, because they are so bucket crazed, as soon as they see a bucket, they go nuts. And I got a call from Oscar today, and he goes, I need you to send Maddie outside. And I said, why? And he goes, I'm in the barn, and Gail won't let me out. Norman won't let me out. And I was like, what? And he said, well, I went to pull the bucket out, and he come running over and like horned it.
It's a big tub.
But he still thought it was a bucket of food.
It was a big tub that we were using to put the chickens in. It was a bigger one. And as I was getting it out, he came over and they all just swarmed it, and they all started thinking it was food, cornered it and started puncturing it or trying to break it. And I'm like, oh. So every time I try to get out, they try to do the same thing. So I'm like, man, I don't want to break this one. This is the only big one we had. So I had to call Gail.
Thinking about the tub. He didn't want to end up like the tub.
Well, that too, And Gail's like, well,
I don't blame him.
Gail's like, well, why didn't you manhandle him? What would you do if it was a dog? I said, well, if it was a dog, I would swing him around. I said, she goes, well, why didn't you do that? I said, it's a little weight difference, A dog's maybe about 80 pounds. A cow's, 600-700 pounds. You can't swing a cow.
I told him to thump him on the nose because
I don't know much about cows. So.
But I also told him that
a fork and knife, So
yeah, so basically I told them that I think they're bucket crazy, kind of like Pavlov's dog. They heard the bell ring and then they started to salivate. These cows see the bucket and they begin to salivate. So we're going to start going out there every day.
Yeah, they're going to go out there every day.
Maddie and I will probably start.
I'll just stay out there with the gun. If they start to horn them, I'll just shoot them.
Who, us or the cows?
Both.
Okay.
No, you. I'll save the cows for when they're bigger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Give me some time. I may fatten up too. But anyway, so we're going to spend some time just playing with the cows, taking buckets out that are empty, just so that they started getting that intermittent exposure of sometimes there's food, sometimes there's not, so that they don't get out of control what time they're 1,500 pounds. I'd much rather deal with them when I can grab them by the horns and still control them a little bit.
Well, when they're about 12, they'll be bye-bye.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. And then we're going to go to the movies tomorrow.
Yay!
And before you freak out, we're going to go upstairs. We have a TV and a couch where the dogs can join us. And so that's our little movie theater.
And we got popcorn.
Yes, we had just filled our tub before all this broke. Before I went in the hospital, we had that big tub from the mall.
Yes, it's like a popcorn something.
Plus, we had gotten 2 of those tubs for Christmas.
Yes.
From different people. So, like, we got popcorn. So we're going to go upstairs. We're going to go to the movies. I may even put on something sexy. I don't know. We'll dress up.
Well, Maddie's there, so unless we kick her out.
I mean, we could just lock her in the basement.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Anyway.
I think we might see, even wanting to see what is it called?
Knives Out. It's supposed to, I'm assuming, now if I'm wrong, please comment below. I'm assuming it's like Clue. Like I love the game Clue. And I don't watch scary movies, so every once in a while in the previews it looks a hair scary, but I can't tell if it's just that like jumpy, but it's kind of quirky like Clue. That's a feeling I get. So I, maybe doing my video tomorrow night, scared to death. I don't know. So it's not supposed to be scary. So we'll see.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
Anyway, so yeah, that's what I want to see, and we can get it on our TV now. So, so that's our big fun thing to do.
If not, then we can see The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh gosh, we literally watched 1,000. Well, I say watch. It was on yesterday while we were doing stuff.
Well,
all the different Star Wars.
No, it was just the 1, 2, and 3.
Was 6 hours?
You were busy doing something.
I was doing other things.
So, and I was too.
I had to listen to it. Anyway, yeah, and I don't mind Star Wars, just I'm not that huge of a fan. So anyway, so we have hopefully a fun day planned tomorrow. Hopefully nobody gets gored by cows. And hopefully nobody at the movie theater is infected like you or Maddie or me.
To put someone down.
Yeah. So anyway, so hopefully tomorrow night we'll both be still sitting here to do the film. So anyway, we thank you guys so much. We appreciate the comments. And like I said, nobody may ever see these. We've gotten some fun comments, and I think this has just been something therapeutic for us to get to do and process our day and process how things have been going. And
I don't know. I haven't really looked at Facebook or YouTube. What is it on Facebook?
It's on Facebook and YouTube. So I try to upload it on both.
I guess I never really
go back and look at the
look to see what people say.
Yeah, they all talk about how handsome and sexy you are.
Yeah, right. But then again, I wouldn't blame them. So
I mean, the truth is the truth, right? All right, guys, before it gets too deep in here, we love you. We hope that you are enjoying being quarantined with your family as much as we are with ours. And we look forward to seeing tomorrow. Hopefully both of us shall be here ungorded in one piece and here tonight or tomorrow night. All right?
If not, we'll be having lots of steak.
I'm going to have to sit with that one, because if one of us aren't here and we're having a lot of steak, that's concerning. Are you eating people now?
No.
You said one of us is not here.
If one of us gets gored, then that means the...
Oh, then you're going to kill the cow. Okay, I'm sorry.
The cow, I got a little... We'll have lots of steak.
Got a little confused.
I didn't mean we'll be shooting one of us and eating. No, I meant the cow.
I mean, what is that movie called? What was that movie where it was like some kind of in the snow, a plane crashed or something, and they wound up eating alive or something like that.
No, I'm sorry.
Not my speed. Anyway, so we hope you guys have a great night, and be sure to look up Matthew 5:8. That's the whole Beatitudes part of the Bible, and we like those. So hope you have a great night. Talk to you later.
Have a good night. Be blessed.